Hi everybody, Dr. Ellie Stein with a neuroplasticity tip on failure. How to use failure as an opportunity for progress. Lest that sound a bit counterintuitive, let me explain. Yesterday I was listening to a replay of a Huberman Lab podcast on this topic. He mentioned that when we're trying to rewire our brain and we're not progressing, right? Say, to make it really concrete, you're a stroke survivor, you're trying to increase the mobility and strength and accuracy of moving your right hand. You're trying to pick up a cup of coffee and you've knocked it over and you've spilled the coffee. The typical human response is to think, you know what, I've failed again, this is so frustrating, I'm going to give up for the day. However, what actually happens in that moment of failure, the frustration is associated with a little spike of adrenaline. And the mismatch, the brain notices what you're trying to do, it knows your intention, and it knows what actually happened. And it sees that there's a mismatch between the two. That triggers a little burst of acetylcholine. And the combo between acetylcholine and adrenaline is the perfect neurochemical soup for neuroplasticity to occur in, right? It makes sense evolutionarily that when we don't quite get something right, the brain naturally has the mechanisms to pay attention to it and to try to rewire so that we can do it better next time. So what Huberman recommends is, instead of giving up at that moment of intense frustration, to stick with it for about 20 more minutes. Even if you don't see progress happening, the biochemistry, the neurochemicals in your brain and body in that moment are optimal for successful neuroplasticity. You might not see the progress in that bout of practice, but if you keep doing that each time you have a setback, or what we would maybe label a failure, eventually your brain will rewire. That's just how it works. Now you might wonder, why am I telling you this? How do I choose the topics anyway for these short videos? It's usually because of something I'm going through myself. So without giving too much away, I have a goal that I've been working on for some time. I've made modest progress, but I would like a lot more progress. And so when I happened upon this reminder yesterday from the Huberman Lab podcast, the timing could not be more perfect. It just gave me the motivation and the determination to stick with it. Never, ever, ever give up. Every time you give up, you're hardwiring the problem or the state of being that you're trying to change. So no matter how long it takes and how hard it seems, keep going. Dr. Michael Moskowitz, one of my teachers in this field, talks about being relentless when you're practicing neuroplasticity. Just keep at it and at it and at it. The brain might not want to change at first. It's used to its easy default pattern, right? The brain likes the easier, softer way. So you have to keep jolting, keep doing things differently, keep shifting the focus of your attention, keep doing things that will elevate your adrenaline and your acetylcholine, keep doing things that will elevate your mood. Keep motivated, keep the contingencies in place that are going to encourage you to practice and practice and practice. And practice leads to neuroplastic change.